What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's been entirely too long, and we have a lot to cover. So, first things first. The 2062 season, obviously over. It's Wednesday night right now. And the last thing I put out was middle of last week. I don't know exactly what it was, but I've been on a commission for the most part for pretty much all weekend, all of Monday, and a lot of Tuesday, and then today I really started to feel better. I don't know what the reason I say I don't know what it was though is because I don't feel like I was sick. I was just overwhelmingly tired, and I'd be up for like a couple, 2 hours at a time here and there, back to sleep, up, back to sleep, up on this couch here, taking a nap, and I would get up. I wouldn't even get off the couch. I would like check my phone, drink some water, and go back to sleep. I don't know what it was. I didn't feel bad otherwise. I was just tired. And so what that led to was no updates on OOTP or anything really. I haven't been doing anything. So we're gonna have to go makeshift here. I will tell you, I'll just cut to the chase. 104 and 58, another banger of a season. And yes, it did result in our third straight title. Now, I will say there wasn't a whole lot of drama in this one. We won 3-0 in the DS, swept the LCS, and then 4-2 in the World Series. A little bit of drama there in the World Series, but for the most part, wasn't that drama filled. So even if I'd been watching all the games on Sunday and recording things, you didn't miss too much. And I got to be honest, I'm a little bit bummed that this wasn't a little bit more of a challenge. Well, if you're a dumbass, as I am, you can kind of tie one hand behind your back or both behind your back and just create a challenge, which is what I kind of did. Because I didn't update the team or anything, so it was still in playoff mode, which those of you who play a lot of OOTP might already know where this is going. So the first couple months of the season, we had a 4-man rotation. Now you can see the record up there. You see we're one game over 500. We'll get into this season here in a moment, but let's at least review our third straight title. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't, even though we're hoping to get a little bit more challenge. Anyway, catching wasn't great. I clicked on Will Clark there. Mickey Tettleton has been bad. And again, you're going to see a lot of what the guys are doing this year. So maybe we make it a combo situation. I show you last year mixed in with this year. He was dreadful. Mickey Tettleton was very bad last year. He's even worse this year. He might be a one and done, folks. I might just be done with him. I always knew, like when we got him, I'm a Tiger. I mean, I'm wearing the Tigers hat, so that's pretty obvious. I'm a Tigers fan. And so I always felt like, if I want to use a card from my childhood of a player that I really liked, we're going to have to do it in lower levels. Maybe he should have been on the team day one. We could have gotten more usefulness out of him because even in Iron, he was wildly overmatched. Now, that's one season, and it's a 253 BABIP and just a 146 ISO. And I'm sure if you rerun a bunch of Iron Leagues, there are a lot of better results out there for him. But the bottom line is he was dreadful. He's much worse this year, and it's bad. We're going to have to address it. Phil Clark, still hanging in there. Now, last year he fell off a bit. Now, he had 2 excellent years to where he was getting full-time burn. Even if he wasn't catching, I had him at first. I had him in the outfield. I had him DHing. I had to get Phil Clark in the lineup. Well, he finally hit his first roadblock there in Iron as well. He dips down to an 88 WRC plus, just a 1-win season. And he's been a bit better this year. He's kind of getting back toward average. I can live with this, though. Something in the 90 or higher range as our backup catcher and kind of a bounce around guy in the 4 corners beyond that, first, third, left, and right. I can live with that. But he's no longer, garnering that extra playing time there and finding a way to be in the lineup every single day, because now we're looking at, over 750 plate appearances of pretty low quality work. First base, you can see right now that Will Clark had another excellent season. I want to say his 130 RBIs led the league again. So back-to-back league leading RBI seasons. 34 homers this time around. 303, 353, 532. And even chipped in 10 steals, which we like. at a 91% clip too. He had 9 steals the year before, but 64% clip. So you can see another guy who has hit the skids here in bronze. He's getting his clock cleaned a bit down to just a 66 WRC plus. Does already have 4 steals for some reason. Like we don't need you to run, Billiam. You don't have to do that. He's continuing his trend where he's dreadful against lefties, y'all. Can I get career splits or no? Maybe not. Oh, here we go. Versus lefties for his career. No, this is just for this year. Never mind. It's been bad. You'll have to take my word for it, but I assure you it's been bad. And this year is perhaps the biggest split. You see him just 67 at-bats, 73 plate appearances. He has 5 hits. Now, that is aggressively unlucky in addition to being bad. That said, I don't want him batting against lefties. Anyway, we didn't want him batting against lefties in the lower leagues. Why would I want it in the upper leagues? So he's still more of a platoon guy. He's holding his own against righties right now, but even that has come down. We have finally met our first challenge here in bronze, as is clear. Barnett doing some good work off the bench last year in 86 plate appearances. Has 33 this year. He's bad again. Like, he's got to go. He's got to go. I mean, he's a bench guy right now, so I'm not bugging out. Now, you see all these great numbers here. Don't forget, this is last year. This is a World Series winning team that only had 2 guys below average, and it happened to be the 2 catchers. Everybody else was a G. And we'll make it quick so we can get into where we're at this year and kind of figure out what we've got to do. Todd Walker, still good, though. Still above average, 108 WRC+. plus. I think I was expecting / hoping that iron would deliver a bit of a challenge, and it seems I was early by 1 league. It seems that bronze has really punched us a bit in the mouth here and said, okay, now here's a challenge, and we have to kind of figure out what we're going to do. But, Todd Walker, no complaints. He's fine. If he can live as an above average bat in these upper levels, in bronze and silver, I can deal with that. He doesn't need to be replaced right away. Paul Molitor came out swanging on these fools in his first year with us. He was awesome. 8-win season with 16 homers, 103 ribbies, 118 runs, damn near 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, good for a 364 average, 432 OBP, 550 slug, oh my goodness, and 69 very nice stolen bases. I mentioned it already, 8 WAR season. He's a god again. Obviously, he's a 95 diamond. We're not expecting him to struggle, and that's exactly what's happening. He's not struggling. 152 WRC plus so far this year, already just over 3 wins, so he's good to go. Ed Sprague has been relegated into more of a platoon role. You saw he got down to 203 plate appearances last year. He was above average at a 108 WRC plus, down to 73 this year. Not hitting particularly well against lefties or righties, though. His days are probably numbered. Our bench is starting to get to a point where, we'll eventually start to address those guys. Obviously, there's still some bronzes and silvers on the starting team that are probably going to be upgraded before we worry about the bench, though. For example, like a Thomas Howard. I'm jumping down to him real quick. He's fading a bit, right? He was down to a 102 last year. He's at 91 this year. He does some things to where he can be a 4th outfielder for us, but he needs to kind of be removed from the lineup into the backup spot. A new outfielder comes in, and then, I don't know, Sprague gets kicked off or something. I don't know the exact name there because maybe we don't add a 5th outfielder. There's some finagling to be done. I'll work out the logistics. Anyway, back in order here. Blauser, another excellent season, both last year and so far this year. He has not faltered at all, and I appreciate that out of Jeff Blauser. Jose Vizcaino has been our super util. He had a great season off the bench last year in just 103 plate appearances, up to a $150 on WRC plus, with a 379 average. Fueled by a 479 BABIP, of course, but we'll take it. In 50 plate appearances so far this year, nothing to write home about. Again, somebody who's probably moving off the team here soon. The fact that he can play defense and he can bounce around the infield is enough to kind of keep him around, though. Barrett will get cut before him. Sprague will get cut before him. Definitely those two. That's probably it. I think Clark and Howard would hold spots over Vizcaino. Roberto Kelly, excellent year last year again, 5 WAR, top season for him. 65 steals. He almost went 30, 100, 100. Instead, he goes 29, 97 ribbies, 99 runs, 278 average, 345 OBP, 483 slug. Excellent season. And he's doing fine this year. Pretty balanced in his split versus righties and lefties. I have no complaints about where Roberto Kelly is at right now in Bronze League. Tim Raines upgraded to silver 2 years ago. Oh, no, actually, no. He's been with us. The silver iteration's been with us for a while, since our first upgrade set there when we got rid of the bronze version and got the silver set. So now, decent year. Last year in 2062, I'll take a 2-win season. It's fine. He's down to an 81 WRC plus this year, though, and there's no one side that is making that happen because he is better against lefties, at least on paper, but so far, virtual paper, if you will. But so far this year, it's 84 versus lefties, 80 versus righties. And WRC plus, I cite it so heavily because it's a catch-all number. It's just like OPS plus. WRC plus is the one that Fangraphs uses. I work at Fangraphs. It's a little bit more precise, I think, as far as like the correlation value. I'm not a super mathy guy, so I might be talking out my ass. But I think in terms of its predictability, it's a little bit sharper than OPS plus. You'll often see the two numbers very close. I'm being a company man, as they used to say on the ESPN fantasy focused baseball podcast with Matthew Berry and Nate Ravitz. They say they're a company man anytime they supported ESPN. So I'm being a company man for Fangraphs. I'm using WRC plus. 100 is average. Every point below is a percent below average. Point above, percent above average. So 81 WRC plus for Tim Raines. He's 19% worse than league average, which is pretty bad. Kenny Lofton, still a god, still an MVP. Got his third straight MVP to the surprise of nobody. Literally his best season yet. Jumped up to 14 WAR. Like, that's silly, dude. And he didn't even hit 10 homers. Like, that's how much value, right? And I cite that specifically because power is so valuable, just in general to your success as a hitter, that, you can cover a lot of mistakes just by having power. Well, he gives up the power. Like, he doesn't have that much. He hits some triples because of his speed, of course, and some doubles due to his speed and his gap power, but he's not like a power threat. So he has his lowest ISO and says, don't care. I'm still going to put up my best year yet. And he does just that, going 358 average, 449 OBP, 535 slug, 136 stolen bases at a 91% clip. Excellent defense to go with it. Boom, 14 WAR. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. So that's why he has 3 MVPs. He's unbelievable. Is there a way to find how much or how many points he's earned combined? This is it, right? This is from the jump. He's been a 21G player. He's damn near paid for himself. I mean, it only took 3 years to essentially pay for himself. What an absolute stud. Kenny Lofton, our best player. And then I already covered Thomas Howard. So that's the hitting. And let's get the snapshot view of this year now. We'll go none on the time frame. There you go. And you know all those numbers already, but just to get that snapshot view, you see the OPS pluses next to the WRC pluses. And it's a mixed bag right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys above average. And then I'm going to sort it. These guys right here in the 90s, passable. 81 it starts to be a little bit of an issue. He's even on WAR, so we'll give him a little pass right now since it's still early in the year. And then 5 guys who are just really struggling. Thankfully, of those 5, 3 are on the bench, but 2 are golds in Will Clark and Mickey Titleton. Like, pick up the pace, gentlemen. You're not performing well, and I'm not pleased. On the pitching side, let's go back here and let's go to time frame. Last year, all levels, and here we go. Now let's sort by innings. Dave Stieb had an excellent year. 225 innings of a 3.52 ERA, up a bit to be honest, I was a little bit surprised that he had a 352 after a 209 the year before. 119 whip though, 8 WAR. I'm not mad. I'm not complaining. I expected another sub 3. I'm not going to lie. He's down to 249 again this year. He was not bothered by the 4-man rotation that we had for 2 months. Other guys were. Spoiler alert. Alex Fernandez had a good year last year, 374 ERA, 132 whip. Whip was running a little bit high, but we'll take the quality ERA. We'll take the 4.5 wins this year. Like, what do you do? What do? You just got to eat a season like this, I think, because we can't take him out. I mean, he's a gold. He's one of the very few golds we even have on the team, let alone in the pitching realm. 8.44 ERA and 2.21 whip. And here's the thing. It started right away. Now, I don't know if the energy was an issue right in game 2 for him, but then in game 3, he was actually excellent. So I don't know. But I don't know when the energy started to kind of stack on itself to where nobody could get healthy or get unfatigued, I guess, because he's just been dreadful since that 7 shutout inning start on April 9th. 5-3, 7-5, 2, 4 total, but 2 earned, 5-5, 4-3, 5-5, 7-1. Okay, good start there, but then another disaster right after that. I'm not exactly sure. I think this 6th and the 3rd 1 run would have been when I fixed the rotation. So he's had 2 starts, 1 good, 1 bad since then. Now that I've got 5 men back in the rotation. Sterling Hitchcock, another amazing year. He's so good. 5 WAR, his second best season. He was tremendous for us. He's been fine so far. 436, 142. It's okay. It's not great. Charles Nagy. Now, I'm starting to think that we need a better defense for him, because this is 2 pretty mediocre seasons so far. Well, this season's not over. It's a half season, right? We are in June 21st. So, it's a season and a half of pretty mediocre work, though, right? Like, it's nobody's particularly excited by a 4.37 ERA, 1.46 whip. That whip is particularly problematic and tells me that the ERA could get even worse if we're not careful. And I think it's our defense. Our biggest flaw right now, our biggest weakness year to year, whenever I'm looking at the composite stats here, is the defense. And our zone rating's 14th. Defensive efficiency is 9th. Wasn't particularly good last year either. I don't know if there's a way I can look that up after the fact to old years, but I can tell you it's never been good. That's always been our weakness. So I'm starting to believe that we need to attack that aspect before it becomes too much, and then we're overmatched as we start to move up any more levels. If we advance beyond bronze, I mean, we're 1 game over 500. We got a lot of work to do, but at least we kind of found ourselves a challenge. Dustin Hermanson struggled last year, and then he's been a disaster this year, and he doesn't even have the excuse of the messed up rotation because he wasn't in it. He was the guy who went to the bullpen because of his 5.81 ERA and 1.68 whip. I put him in the bullpen last playoff, and he was the guy who didn't get put back in, and he's been terrible. 9.16 ERA, 2.09 whip, like just dreadful. He has just 1 start since I fixed the rotation, and he was horrendous. Like, he couldn't have been worse. So, I don't know what's up with Dustin Hermanson. Obviously, he'll move to the bullpen permanently before he moves off the team. But I wonder if we're there. I wonder if he's out of the rotation yet. Like, it's dodgy right now. Looking at the bullpen, I'm just going to kind of show, I'm going to get a little bit more of a snapshot here in the bullpen instead of individually. We had Scott Terry as our workhorse again. 99 innings of a 382, 152. Hate that whip. And again, look at all these whips. Another thing I'm starting to think our ballpark might be hurting us more than it's helping. Obviously, we had a great offense last year, but I have a park design that kind of favors our lack of power and creates a spacious outfield that's good for extra base hits and singles, but curbs homers. And I think it's starting to play into a lot of these high whips that we're seeing. So you check this out. Average is 1.045 combined, and homers are down to 0.9, which is the lowest you can get. Average could go higher. It's not maxed, but you see doubles and triples are pretty darn high. So, I don't mind that, but I think we need to make the team a little bit more set up to handle it. And I think that would be the defensive aspect. I think that's the part that I keep coming back to here where I'm like, the defense needs to be better. Because look at all these whips. 152, 189, 130, 169, 129, 148, 152, 170. Those all suck. None of those are good. This is the most plausible one that I can accept. This one, I guess, also Gutterman's too, then at 130. But those are asking for trouble. It's some pretty high BABIPs. And again, I'm going to say that the park's probably doing a good bit of that. And the defense, though. Sorry if I hit the mic there and made a noise. The defense as well, though, because we don't have a ton of strikeout guys in the bullpen. I should say, not on the bullpen. Like Terry is an extreme ground ball, low stuff guy. Charlton is a flamethrower at 97. Gutterman, 43 stuff. Jeff Robinson, 87, so he's better, but even that didn't really help me at a 148 whip. Littlequist, 51. Mason, 70. Clear has a 135. I think the 14 control just doesn't work. And being a fly ball. Well, actually only gave up 0.2 homers last year and only 0.7 this year. So it's just giving up a shit ton of hits because he was awful last year and he's been brutal again this year. I think I made this switch offline, so y'all might not have known that Mark Clear was on the team. Pretend you never saw it because he's coming off of this team. He has to. Like, he's terrible. I tried to capture some more Jeff Wallace magic with Mark Clear. And it's just not as good. I'd rather Jeff Wallace, who had a bounce back year last year, but has been awful this season. So that's the lay of the land. Let me give you all levels, none of that. And then here's a better snapshot look at where they're at this year. Again, some pretty bad whips. A few better ones mixed in, but I see two that start with a 2 in Clear and Wallace, and that is just beyond the pale. But we do have a 1-2-3 here from Robinson and a 1-2-4 from Mason. So something to grasp onto. We either need more Ks or a sharper defense, though. One of those two has to come through for us. We do have a pack. Let's open that first and foremost because we have a pack from Login Reward. That's another thing about the absence. I derailed our login reward, so I'm pretty bummed about that. Nothing here that we can use. We got a 70s and a 2000s. We needed 80s or 90s, so they're taunting us, and I don't appreciate it. I don't. So let's get the lay of the land so far this year. We're back up to 1 week in the books. We should be somewhere around here. I'm so mad. That sucks when we're a team, that's trying to get those packs to spike some fun guys that we can use, and I'm out here missing days with like a freaking fatigue illness. I don't know. I don't think it was COVID, but I didn't get a test because I don't go anywhere, and my girlfriend's not even here to like possibly put her at risk. She's traveling for work, and we always make this joke that my dog's breath is our smell test. It's our COVID test, but I also know that Omicron doesn't have as much with the smell and the taste. So I don't know. Do you get overwhelmingly fatigued with COVID? Because that's all I had. It just put me out, and I could not stay up for more than a couple hours at a time, and I was just back to sleep. Didn't feel bad in any way. Wasn't in pain. Wasn't coughing. Like nothing. Just fatigue. Let's see if we can win a game here, or do we fall all the way to 500? Then I'll show you the standings, where we're at. We'll probably cap this video as like a 2062 recap, 2023 catch-up, and then we're going to make mid-season moves, okay? All right, we caught a dub. Let's go. With a big 10th inning. Holy smokes. We needed that. All right, Kenny Lofton doing the damn thing. Everyone gets a base hit. Let's go, baby. And then Steve beasting and feasting. Okay, good stuff. All right. So that puts us at 38 and 36. This is our first ounce of trepidation as a team. We're third in the division. We're 11.5 back, 4.5 back of the wild card, but 2 teams in front of us too, right? Team count matters. Team count in front of you for the wild card matters a lot more later on. We're still here in late June, but eventually we want to dispatch some of these teams and only be chasing, well, if we don't have the wild card outright, only be chasing, the teams that are in position, because you just need so much to go your way when you're chasing the teams that are holding the wild cards and others in front of you, which makes obviously intuitive sense. I don't know why I'm explaining it like it's some crazy thing I'm unveiling. So, when you have to chase more teams, it's harder. Yeah, like sick fucking analysis, pardon me. Anyway, this is where we're at. Let's get the expanded standings real quick. We are +2 on our Pythag. So we're playing above our heads right now because we're about an even team. We're -600 run differential, so they say we should be 2 games under. We're 17-22 at home. Now this goes back to my whole thing about the home ballpark, to where maybe it's hurting us more than it's helping us. Because sure, we're hitting a bit with it. Well, actually, let's see if that's even true this year. It's been true in the past. Is it true this year? Home. We have 5 guys under a 107. Road. Yeah. Okay. So we're hitting at home. Great. But we don't have the defense or the swing and miss pitching to take care of ourselves at home. And so you see here, we have just 4 guys under a 4 ERA. We'll throw Nagy in there too. We'll say 5 guys at an ERA of 4 or below, and 3 of them are relievers, so not as high impact because they're not putting out as much volume. Now, Jeff Robinson hasn't been too bad at home, and even Gutterman is like, he's kind of meh as opposed to bad. But from Hitchcock and up, these guys have been bad at home. Now, we can't change the park, right? That ship has sailed. You got to do that within the first week of gameplay. So that's out. So we need to attack the defense. So what we need to do is kind of figure out where I want to go with these upgrades. Now, we're going to do mid-season upgrades for the first time ever. And I don't know. I remember saying last time, like, hey, if we win another World Series and it's like too easy, we'll do like one frivolous upgrade is what I said. I said we do like one overpriced upgrade out of the bullpen, because that's usually where it's overpriced, right? Like if you're spending, let's see what some of the prices are here. If you're spending like $40K on one reliever, it's like, it's not that great. Wait, there's no relievers from the 90s that are 90 and above? How's that possible? Let me just put a 0 here to see like what's going on. Oh, wow. Okay, there literally aren't. That's wild. There were multiple ones earlier, or late last week when I was looking. I should have bought some of them, I guess, and kind of stored them. You know what? Maybe we buy Dibble. Maybe we just go for Dibble. We make like an executive decision that we're getting Dibble. We are going to do the frivolous buy. Why do that, right? Like, what's the point? Well, I almost feel like we've been too good. Like, I like the success. It's fun. I think we challenged ourselves with this team build and everything, but I wish there was a little bit more of a grind. It almost works a little bit differently in OOTP, where you can kind of start hot the way we have, and then this area is where it starts to get hard, and then there's probably a cutoff where we probably can't even get beyond, say, gold. I don't know. We'll see how it goes as the team develops, but I was hoping for a little bit more of a grind uphill, and instead we've won 3 straight World Series. So, like I said, I kind of did an artificial hand behind our back by sleeping through a few days and not updating the team, so now we're 38 and 36. And I'm going to compound that, I think, by getting Dibble. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is we're going to do more upgrades than just Dibble, but I'm going to go ahead and make the Dibble upgrade first and foremost. We're going to do that. We're going to spend that. That's a diamond upgrade right there. Now, normally we have 1 diamond upgrade. What is it? 1 diamond, 2 golds, 2 silvers is usually what I say. I think. I don't remember. I think though, is it once we're in bronze, it's unlimited, or after a season in bronze? That's what I don't remember. I think based on the way I wrote it, we would still be on those limits this year. I want to look at and upgrading the defense. And we can do upgrades that are like bronze to bronze too. Maybe we find some better defenders here, or even silver to silver. Like those don't count as upgrades. Those are trades. If they're lateral moves, they're basically trades. So like Tettleton's gone. And if we go to like a silver catcher, so if we drop down with him, we can go up to gold with somebody else. Maybe it's a Thomas Howard who gets upgraded, or Tim Raines, who maybe we move Tim Raines' card to gold in that exchange with Tettleton. So we'll figure all that out. I'm going to make these 2 separate videos here, else it's going to be an hour and a half. This is the 2062 recap, 2063 setup. Again, I'm really sorry. I wish I had more answers as to why I was just wiped out for 4 days. But I'm back. I feel fine. I think everything's all good, and you should get the regular updates. But if you were wondering where the heck were the Red Bulls, or does this guy stream anymore, I just had a few days where I was out of it. So anyway, we will come back. We'll fix the Texas Red Bulls here. We're still going to make the playoffs, folks, okay? We're going to make the damn playoffs still. They're not going to stop us. I don't know if we're going to win a 4th straight World Series, but we're going to make the damn playoffs. All right, thank you for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Peace.